want to preach about today, and I know it's not protocol, to announce my subject once again. Before I read the text, I'm going to Matthew, the 21st chapter. I want to talk about there's a healing in the temple. There's a healing in the temple. Amen. Glad to see Jackie in there. God bless you. Thank you for being here today. Amen. She's home to see her mother. Amen. The family members with them all day. Thank y'all for being here. Amen. I'm glad to see Angela Lee back.
Amen. Amen.
I'll say amen.
Amen. Glad to see you back.
Matthew, the 21st chapter. Let me read this to you as it marinates in your heart and your mind. 21st chapter, beginning with the 12th verse. And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast all of them that sold and bought in the temple. Is that in your mind? And overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seat of them that sold doves. He said unto them, it is written, my house shall be called the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. And when the chief priests and the scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children cried in the temple, saying, Hosanna to the Son of David, they were so displeased. And said unto him, Hear thou what these say. And Jesus said unto them, Yea, have ye never read out of the mouth of babes and sucklings, thou hast perfect praise. That's all I need to read today. I want to talk about there's a healing in the temple. Shake somebody's hand next to you and tell them there's a healing in the temple. Amen. A lot of you in here are going through some situations in your life that this is a day that you need God to heal your situation.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Coming to church has several benefits and advantages. And they really vary from person to person. But if we were to ask God, why should we come to this house? He would give us such a wide range of reasonings. But the reasons would be really limited to two reasons. And those reasons would be to worship and to glorify Him. And if we ever got to a place where every single person in the Lord's house intentionally maintained their attitudes and perspective toward worship, we will discover that the manifestation of God's presence will not only be impactful, but it'll be regular. The Bible says that God inherited the praises of His people. Unfortunately, there ranges of reasons why people sometimes come to church tends to be selfish. Matter of fact, it tends to sometimes even borderline being ungodly. Because everybody don't come to church for the right reason. And sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, we need to revisit why we come together to worship. And I discovered there's a falling away of every church in America, because guess what? We have not discovered again the true reason why we come. And it's a blessing just to be able to come. How many of you know it's a blessing just to be able to come and worship God? I'm willing to believe that if God done anything for you all want to worship Him. And there may be some civil reasons that can benefit from our corporate worship. Matter of fact, there are some personal reasons that can benefit from our corporate worship. There may even be some network and business opportunities that should benefit from our corporate worship. To come into the Lord's house and not glorify Him is to miss a common denominator while we come together for worship. At all times, in all places, we come not to meet each other. We come not to just get acquainted, but we come to worship. And we come to glorify Him. The passage that I'm dealing with on this day reminds us of the aftermath of putting God first. There are some good things that can happen in your life if you put God first on your list. Can I go to rewind? I said that there are some good things that can really happen in your life if you put God first on your list. I got the wrong crowd. There are some really good things that can happen in your life if you make God first on the list. Even in our corporate worship, you'll find that this is a place of reverence. Matter of fact, when you get to church, it is a place of revelation. When you get to church, it's a place of building a relationship with God. And it's also a place of reproof. You get to Matthew 21, the Monday after Palm Sunday. It's the last week prior to the Lord's death. That Monday, He goes into the temple. And then guess what? You can almost imagine that the temple is busy. Matter of fact, you're sitting there looking at me strange when I mention temple. Let me make it better. The church is busy. Because guess what? He's come to church. That the coming week, during that period of time, was the feast of the Passover. And you see now the people are beginning to converge from all over the world and participate in the feast of the Passover. The temple church at this time is configured in a series of courts. When you first get into the temple, the first court that you get to is the Gentiles. And that area happened to be designated into the court where all non-Jewish people attended the feast and they congregated. They came together. And you see them interacting with each other. You go through another door and you find that the court of the women. And at that time of the text in the church, they happen to be separate and sexless, because at that time they didn't believe in the women. The women had their own area away from their husbands. The women, I wish I had somebody. I know y'all ain't read it. Y'all think this is commercial appeal. The women had a separate area away from their husband. I got some women mad about that now. You can't see you being away from him. That's not good. Away. They had a separate area. The women were. I heard you. You said yes, I can. Oh, I heard you. I see how funny y'all acting. Oh, I heard you. I heard some of my babies and he said, try me, Pastor. Lord have mercy, I knew this church. The children were away from their parents. And they were considered, the women at that time were considered to be less and irrespectable. And they didn't like the women at that time. The women had no power. Lord have mercy. You ought to thank God that you didn't live during that time. Lord, especially the women in this church. Hallelujah. Man, if the women in this church didn't have no power, I can see a cut-up spirit already. Matter of fact, they weren't worthy to go further because of how God had made them. You stepped through another door, the court of the Israelites. And that's where the Jewish men who felt that they had a privilege. Because they thought they were somebody. Because they thought just because they were Jewish, that they were running things. And these were those who were called by God. And the next group was the priests, the ones that were called by God on behalf of the people. But then you get to this final door, which is the Holy of Holies. That very closet, that room, that space, that the Ark of the Covenant, which the people believe God's presence was in that room. The high priest went in that room one day out of the year. Lord have mercy. It's called Yom Kippur. And Yom Kippur is translated the Day of Atonement. And one minute. And this is where they would go and atone for the sins of the entire nation. And God is to believe to have been in the back room. But verse 12 shows up. It says they thought he was in the back room, but he walks through the door. Lord have mercy. Boy, it'd be a terrible thing if God walked in here. All right, unfold y'all, we'll go to church. But what if God just walked in here right now? Lord have mercy. They believed that he was in the back room. But verse, y'all got it back? Verse 12 says that God, they believed they hadn't came in yet. But now all of a sudden the front door opens. And guess who shows up? Nobody but Jesus. Lord have mercy. Matter of fact, you'll do a little bit better if he showed up at your house. And some of y'all ought to stop trying to let him come through the back door. Why don't you let Jesus come in the front door of your house? Lord have mercy. Verse 12 says that Monday, after his entrance in Jerusalem, Lord have mercy, God steps Jesus steps in God's house. And when he went into the house, guess what? He became destructive. He in his own house, tearing some stuff up. I need some folk that ever read Matthew. When he gets home to his own house, guess what he finds in his house? He finds some criminal activities in Jesus' house. I wish y'all wake up. I know rain got you. I know you took your summer there. But in the court of the Gentile, people that were non-Jewish, they had been exchanged their foreign currency for the Jewish currency. Because all males over the age of 20 years old had to pay the temple tax. And if they wanted to participate in the Passover, they had to pay some tax. And Lord have mercy, they had to stop, first of all, at the entrance door. And they stopped right there in the beginning of the church. And they were exchanging foreign money for Jewish money. Lord have mercy. Y'all so stiff. Jewish money had the face of another king on it. And just because it had the face of another king on it, the money was considered unclean. In the court of the Gentiles, the Bible calls them, y'all gonna talk to me? Calls them money changers. They were those who exchanged foreign currency for Jewish half shekels, which makes them legitimate to participate in the feast and pay the temple tax, while they were exchanging money in the church. The money changers was putting, Lord, let me get some older folk in here. The money changers were like long shots. The money, I feel the same in English. The money changer was putting a surcharge on their service in the church. And they were charging the people more money just to exchange their money. Thus in the Lord's house, they were conducting a criminal activity through the exchange of money in the Lord's house. Not in the club, not in the gambling house. Some terrible stuff. This side ain't said amen no more. Y'all want to cut that foolishness? In the Lord's house. They got some criminal activity going on. And historically and traditionally, it has always been argued that Jesus kicked the people out because they were stealing. And if that was the case, he would have just kicked out the sellers. But the text says he kicked out the sellers and the buyers. I can tell y'all, you never read this. The buyers is not the ones that were stealing. They just happen to be victims of criminal activity. The question is that, why are you going to kick them out? He says, I'm kicking out the buyers and the sellers. I'm not just in disagreement with their criminal activity. I just don't like what's happening because it's in my church. He said, I'm not just struggling with what's happening, but I'm struggling with where it's happening. He said they at least could have went across the street. They at least could have went on the Sherry Drive and had Crossroad. But there the church cutting up. I want to help y'all. When Jesus shows up to his house, he ought to clean you before he shouts. Some of y'all think they talk to me. It's one thing about it. If God ever do something for you, ain't nobody got to pump you and prime you. You have a praise, Lord, down on the inside. Lord have mercy. I tell you what, if he ever deliver you, if he ever heal you, you ain't got to worry about waving your hand if God ever bring you out. I can tell, I got some folk here, he done nothing for you, neighbor. Lord have mercy. You ain't got to go too many years back. Some of y'all in here, you ought to thank God what he done for you in January. Lord have mercy. Man, you ain't got to go too far back.
No, sir.
Can I get some February praise, Lord? Oh, that's all right. Is it in it this morning? Praise God. They can thank God because God woke you up, started you on your way. Let me sit on the seat with you. It's a good day.
Yes, it is. Because I'm still here. Thank you. Thank you.
Y'all listen.
To God.
When Jesus show up, it ought to be some cleansing going on. The closer, fish girl, we get to the presence of God, the cleaner we ought to be.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
I got some ladies in this church. You too old. Let the pastor break bad news to you. You too old to keep doing the same. When do you say, I'm too old to keep doing this? If he is God, his holiness cannot stand our sinfulness. If he God, story. Charlie, let me tell you something. This is just 10-15. The story is told about a lady that was working night shift. And she had to catch the bus to go to work. She leave out the apartment and walk down to the bus stop. On the way to the bus stop, car drive by, not towards it. Car drive by, hit a mud puddle and splash. Lord have mercy. On the woman's clothes. She don't have time to change clothes. So when she gets to the bus stop, there's a light at the bus stop, and when she gets under the light, she gets a chance to see how dirty and how messed up she is. All right. Stories told about a night shift worker. The lady worked the night shift. She had to go catch the bus. To go to work, she leave out the apartment, walk down to the bus stop. On the way to the bus stop, somebody driving the car hit a mud puddle